Okay, so let's kick it off. Thanks everyone again for joining today's webinar. The purpose of today's webinar is for you to be able to ask questions online. Right now, I have one question, what I really commonly hear from the members here is when they change the risk settings to extreme risk, ER, but still the signals do not get replicated, and why is that happening? So the reason behind this is whenever you make any changes in the risk settings or even your trade sizes in the hybrid settings, you have to save them, and after that you have to log out from your account and back in, so the new settings will be loaded that you just changed, and after that the replication will use the new settings. So then extreme risk will replicate all the trades for that specific signal. Okay, I have another question here. 1 second. Related to the previous question, you have to do it if you're running hybrid on the VPS. You have to log out and back in on the VPS. So that is the most important thing. Because if you don't do it on the VPS, which is actually used for the main signal replication, then you will still have the same settings. So always remember to do it on the VPS. Okay, I have a question here. I have the turbo set up to semi-medium risk, the house setting. In August, a fairly active month, I had 2 turbo trades. House settings suggest 15 trades per month. Considering Socket Turbo at setting of extreme risk, 30 trades per month. I'm wondering how many trades are investors realizing on Socket Turbo per month on the extreme risk setting in binary.com, considering my turbo experience in August. Signals per month, this is generally based on our previous signal analysis, what we do. We can't really so to say predict the actual signal amount per month, what you can receive. This is essentially approximate amount that is based on the previous performance, and all this information can actually be found when you go to hybrid and select analytics on the left. There is a lot of data there that you can actually analyze to set your risk settings accordingly. You don't necessarily have to use the house settings. You can actually make your own sort of say template that you feel would work best for you, depending how many signals you would like to get, and also the ITM percentage is an important factor here. So yeah, please never take these numbers as a reference for future signal performance, because we can't really predict that. One very common question here is, I am having difficulty setting up my VPS. Can you help me? Sure. We actually have a pretty good guide, pretty detailed guide that will guide you through the setup process of a VPS step by step. So the only thing you need to do is accurately follow the steps in the guide. If you don't find the guide anywhere on the website, don't hesitate to write us an email or approach me directly. I can just send you the guide through the chat. That's no problem. And if you run into any problems with any steps in the guide, don't be shy. Just approach us, preferably me, and I'll give you some information how you can proceed. Okay, next question from Ricardo. Right, do you have any updates on the relaunch of Extreme? Is Wave going to be re-engineered too? Do you also have any updates on future signal providers for humans and bots coming in Hive? Now, Ricardo, this information, thanks for the question though, it's a good question, but this information is, how to say, is not open for the public, because these things change all the time. There are constantly signal providers in auditions trying to become signal providers. Some of them make it, some of them don't. So even us, we can't really predict when there will be a new signal provider coming online or not. So we just have to say and see on the run. You'll definitely see new signal providers in Hive throughout time. We'll be adding more and more. Okay, Mr. Flex is asking, when will you introduce other brokers to Hive? Don't you think using binary.com as the only broker is kind of risky? It is a good question. First of all, we will always focus on getting new brokers added to Hive. We are actually in progress of getting a couple of them at the moment. We're already deep in the development on that one. There have been a bit of delays. Perhaps you were already expecting some brokers to be available sooner, but it's all behind testing and to make sure everything is compatible, and we'll definitely be able to integrate more brokers in the future. And I don't personally feel that binary.com as the only broker in hybrid at the moment is risky, because based on our experience with them and our interactions with them, they are very adequate with the system that we have created here, and we don't really see any risk with that at the moment. One thing to mention about the previous question as well, there will be one or two new human signal providers coming up to Hive within around 1 to 2 weeks. So you can actually expect a couple of new providers stepping up on the list quite soon. Okay, Giuliano Correa is asking, can I use hybrid and signal push in the same account? If I'm understanding you correctly, you're asking if you can use both of them at the same time from one Signal Hive account. Yes, you can. You can auto trade with both of the systems simultaneously. The hybrid and signal push will both be able to replicate signals at the same time, so that's not a problem. If you want any further information about signal push or the ATP, then you can send an email to onboarding@signalhive.com, and I'll be more than happy to provide more details about the ATP. Okay, Alexandra is asking, is there a way to prioritize a signal? For example, I'd like to prioritize socket turbo instead of dive when they both occur at the same time. At the moment there is no such feature to prioritize a signal, but I don't really see a reason why you should be prioritizing a signal, because both of them should be replicating at the same time. But if you mean that if they both have the same pair and direction and you would only like to have one signal with the same pair and direction initiated, then I understand what you mean. But quite rarely there is identical signal released in signals room from different providers at the same time. So that rarely happens. So I don't see a reason really for that feature at the moment. But please feel to elaborate on that. If you send me an email to onboarding@signalhive.com, we can actually go ahead and discuss that more thoroughly if you wish. Okay, Niall Norton is asking, can the limit of $50 trade size be lifted further? No, 50 is the total maximum for the trade size for the clients to replicate with. So yeah, 50 is the number. Perhaps in the future, we can never know, we can never predict, but this is a strict number at the moment. We're not really planning to do anything with that limit in a short future. And Louis Gaynor is asking if the 25 trade limit can be lifted. Yes, it can. If you go to hybrid, at the very top of the hybrid page, you will have a tab called liability waiver. Now, if you open that tab, you can download the liability waiver, which you have to sign, and you will be provided a questionnaire which you have to follow. If you fill in the questionnaire, send it back to us. We will review it. We will consider each and every case a separate case, and if you are approved, then the trade size will be lifted to 50. If you will not be approved, then it will remain the same. Now, if you don't want to answer the questions, that's completely fine. You're not forced to, but in this case, we cannot really lift the trade size to 50 either. I hope that answers your question. Okay, Joseph asks, how can I download Signal Hive? Right, the Signal Hive, you don't really have to download it, because the Signal Hive is a signals marketplace that will open up in your web browser, for example Firefox or Google Chrome or Internet Explorer. You simply have to have an account with Signal Hive. You have to be logged in, signed in, and simply monitor the signals room. The new signals and the old signals will appear there. If you want to trade them manually, you obviously have to have a bit of experience to read the signals, to know what kind of trade to initiate. If you don't want to trade manually, you can simply use our hybrid automatic trading system, which integrates with binary.com at the moment. So these are the two trading methods you can use. Simply sign up and use the view tutorial at the top of the page when you arrive into the signals room. It's marked down in green, so it's really easy to find. It will give you a quick overview what Signal Hive can do for you. Niall is asking, I cannot increase it over 50. Can you open up a second account? That actually is a good question. I think that is best if Zio will get that one answered for you. Okay. Meanwhile, Niall, don't worry, I'll get back to you on that one shortly. Just a quick question: can Signal Hive run on a VPS and a personal computer at the same time? Yes, Mr. Flex, you can run them. However, if you are using hybrid automatic trade replication as well, and if you are signed into two instances of Signal Hive at the same time, then you will get multiple trade replications for the same signal. So that includes if you have Hive open up in the same browser but in two or more tabs. If you have it open up on same computer but different browsers, or on the VPS and your personal computer, it's the same thing. If you have it open up in two separate instances, you will get multiple trade replications. So I highly recommend don't do it. And to answer the question, Niall, if you want to have a second account, generally it's fine if you use the same PayPal account to pay for it, but the account itself is for another person. However, if the reason for the second account is to trade with a higher amount, then it is against our terms of use, and it is forbidden. So I hope that answers the question. And if we notice you or anyone doing this, opening up several accounts to actually trade a higher amount, and as I mentioned, it is against our terms of use, and we will reserve the right to terminate one or even the both accounts. So we highly do recommend against this. Thank you very much for the feedback, Ken. I really appreciate it. Have a good weekend. Take care. Okay, at what stage in the onboarding do we get to learn the latest Hawkeye risk settings? Mark Gates asks. Now, the latest Hawkeye risk settings, essentially they itself already explain what they're about. The risk settings have different names, either higher risk or low risk. The house settings themselves, they get constantly reviewed and constantly updated. So what you can do, you can from time to time open it up again, see if anything has changed, if you are strictly following the house settings. If you are not strictly following it, then just see how it goes. If the account or the balance keeps growing, then I don't see a reason why you should change anything. But yeah, keep an eye on the house settings. We'll keep them updated. And something additional to mention, that how exactly you want to trade on Signal Hive or with hybrid, this is completely up to you yourself. It's all about personal preferences. We provide the tools, we provide all the information, we provide the data that you can use to configure your trade habits and how you trade. So please spend a bit of time to find the best setup, find the best configuration for you that works out. Some people prefer low risk, low volume trading. That's fine, we have a solution. Some people prefer high risk, high return and high volume of signals. That's also fine because we have enough signals available. So take that time, because eventually who profits is you, right? Okay, Robert is asking, difference between hybrid analytics and other analytics. Yes, the difference currently is the analytics that you find on the hybrid page, they are strictly about the hybrid trade results on extreme risk setting. So, and the analytics on the very main page at the top of the signals room, this shows you the general information about all the signal providers when their signals are traded manually. So, and then based on the ONDA's price feed then. So this is the difference. We are planning to move, not merging the information, not merging the analytics, but bringing them close to the same place. So soon you will find the hybrid analytics also under the main analytics tab at the top of the signals room. So the hybrid analytics will be simply like a separate tab next to the others. If that made sense. I hope I was clear enough on that one. Okay, Mark is asking, is it allowed to trade bigger sizes through signal push? We still rely on the $50 maximum trade size. This is set to either 25 or 50 by default from our side. However, I think it is worth mentioning that the signal push program itself allows you to override any default trade size that we set. We do highly recommend to not use it, to keep it as the default trade size, but obviously we cannot really prevent you from doing that. Although if you decide to override it, then you are breaking the liability waiver, and this is completely up to you. This is the risk you are taking if you decide to do so. Mr. Flex is asking if I want to use signal push with ATP, who to contact. You can contact either me directly through Skype. My Skype ID is Otto with one T, OTO.REM, and you can also send an email to onboarding@signalhive.com for more information. It would be best if you send an email, because then I can have my time to reply. Giuliano is asking, do you recommend any broker to use with signal push? Can't really make any recommendations, to be honest. However, the brokers that are available on Signal Push, they have all of them up on their website. There are, I think, 4 of verified brokers that Signal Push themselves have verified to be operational very well. These are the ones you can use, although I would personally recommend to consider the pair availability, the asset availability, and the expiry availability, because the more asset or expiry availability you have, the more signal replication you will have as well. That is logical, of course. So definitely take a note of these 2 parameters and make your choices accordingly. Mr. Flex is asking, do you have a web page with information? We don't have a web page with information about the ATP. This is something we send out via email if a person is interested. This is one of our older auto trading solutions available. That's actually the first auto trading solution available that we created here. ATP versus hybrid, they both have different different features integrated, also different brokers they work with. So some people prefer ATP, some people prefer hybrid. So yeah, again, it's all about personal preferences. And Robert is asking, do you recommend more than one broker? I would personally keep it down to one broker when it comes to auto trading. This is my personal preference. Please don't take it as a financial or any other advice, because it is easier for me to monitor the actual results, the account balance, how it has grown. If you want to try out different brokers, then I would suggest, take them step by step. Try out one first, then the other one, and so on, to see which one works the best eventually. Okay, Clay Trader is asking, can you tell me the variance percentage between ATP and hybrid in our win and loss percentage on average? Now, the thing is, between ATP and hybrid, the hybrid is an on-board auto trading solution, and the analysis, the data analysis for hybrid is done internally, and this is something we can successfully track. Now, the results for the ATP, however, as the signals are channeled through a third-party program, there is really no way for us to track the results automatically and make a code, a script, or a computer to gather the details and then calculate the information afterwards. So we can't really provide any statistics ATP versus the hybrid. Mr. Flex is asking, will Signal Hive think about giving customers discount for using multiple human providers in Hive? It actually is a good question. We have given a thought about it, just to perhaps create some kind of a package of signal providers, based on the performance or preference. However, it's quite difficult to do because of the financial structure and how the signal providers are, how they're operating in Signal Hive itself. So that will require complete, reconfiguration of the financial structure. Maybe they will become available in the future, some kind of promotional offers for several signal providers for a discount. However, no promises here, and we'll just have to see what the future brings. Giuliano is asking, why sometimes there's a different result between manual and auto trade? A very good question, by the way. This is also quite an often asked question. The difference here is that the binary.com, the hybrid, and the results, they are based on the binary.com's price feed. And the manual trade results the MAN that you see in Signal's room, this is based if the signal was instantly taken manually based on Oanda's price feed. So that's where the difference comes from. Sometimes the price moves really fast, so the trade entries actually can also be a bit off from each other. So this is all normal. Certain difference may happen and can be there. Mr. Flex is asking, are the trades on Hive based on binary.com prices? This AUT, as in auto trading by hybrid, this is based on extreme risk setting. That means instant replication by hybrid on binary.com. Okay, Just is asking, why won't Signal get replicated if I am logged in all day on my iPad? Now please note that Signal Hive is meant to be used on a computer that is running an adequate operating system like Windows, Linux or Mac. It is not designed for mobile devices like smartphones or tablets. The browsers on smartphones and tablets, they are not sufficient to replicate the trades in hybrid, because hybrid is sophisticated enough by itself, so the mobile devices just can't handle it. So you will need to get either a VPS if you cannot be logged in on your personal computer at all times for the replication to happen uninterrupted, or if you can keep your computer open at all times, then that's also fine. But please note, a VPS is still a better solution, as it is not being used for a daily operations, so to say. Clay Trader is asking, will Artemis be shown and available? It is out of the topic question today. However, I can say that by the end of September, if all goes according to the revisited plan, so we'll be highly focusing on that from our side. Okay, Just is asking, is there any future plans for mobile use? Yes, we have a simple application coming on mobile devices. However, that is not designed for hybrid automatic trade replication. This is designed to alert you about signals, about active signals coming up on Hive, and yes, for active signals monitoring. That's what I want to say. Just is asking, are your top traders using a mix of robot and human signals? Well, I think it's best if you ask them yourself, perhaps in one of the public chats in Signal Hive, and I'm sure they're more than happy to help and answer your questions. And just for the overall explanation, that we have new robots being tested at all times, being audited, and if they pass our quality tests, then obviously we will add them into the selection of signals in Signal Hive. So definitely always keep an eye out for any new providers. Now, most likely we'll also introduce a new provider or a new robot in the public chats, just for you to check them out. I guess the time is up for this webinar today. Thank you everyone for attending. Thank you all for the questions. Just keep in mind, if you have any questions rising up at any time, don't hesitate to contact us in Skype, either at Signal Hive or otto.rem. You can also send us an email to support@signalhive.com or onboarding signalhive.com, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. I hope you enjoy your weekend, and see you next week. Take care, everyone. Thanks.